Hey everybody, Claude Diamond here with the deal of the week. This is a good one. This is I get goosebumps. I'm talking to Damon Hart in
Hey.
Florida, and Damon, you just knocked my socks off telling me about this deal that you did. And tell everybody, we only have a few minutes here. How you found the deal? How long did it take? How much you made? If around numbers, if you don't mind sharing with
Sure.
people. I find these kind of stories. I love success stories, and you're on a hot streak lately, aren't you?
Well, yeah, you say it all the time. Hard work pays off, and like anything else, you put in the work every day, it pays off.
Talk to people, knock on doors, use the gut sales method, know how to speak to people so it's not
Sure.
adversarial. And look at you, you're knocking them dead. Tell the story. How much did you make? Can we start with the end and the beginning? How much did round numbers? How much was the total deal profit? What was the total profit?
Okay, well, I'll tell you that,
I'm
but I
tongue tied. I'm
also
so excited.
I'll tell you that, but what I find is so wild about this business is how much I invested to make this money. So all in, it cost me $1,000 to kind of secure and do whatever I need to do to market this property.
Right.
$1,000,
Which yielded?
$105,000.
Oh my God, 1,000 to make $105,000.
Pretty good return, huh?
Really? How much time was invested in this deal from beginning to the end?
It took us about 2 months, but my personal time, between the attorneys handling most of the negotiation and stuff, I mean, I'd have to say maybe 10 hours.
And what kind of deal was it? Residential property? What was it?
This one was a commercial property, a commercial building, and it was an old attorney's office, and we sold it, and the sellers they got a great deal, and we were able to get out of the deal fast.
Wasn't that scary to you? I mean, you're used to residential, really, and here we are talking about a commercial building. That's kind of something new for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it was new, but I tell you what, the premise was still the same. You get it under control,
With
and I
a
decided
contract?
with a contract, did
Okay.
that,
Was it an
and then
option agreement or a regular sales agreement?
I did a little bit different on this one. What I did is I took the property, I took over the deed to protect my interests, but then at the end of the day, it was really just like an option because I had the price set with the guy. And then what we did is we went and then marketed it. So I knew I was controlled. I knew I couldn't get hurt. If I marketed it, no one could cut me out, which people did, by the way, they tried, but I was protected.
Okay.
And,
So
you
important
know,
what you just said. When you get in a deal, get it in writing. You can always modify it, renegotiate it. But if you don't
sure,
have it on a piece of paper, verbal contracts mean nothing in real estate.
they don't exist. You're
They
right.
don't get so.
Absolutely.
And you know me, I'm big. You talk to somebody, you zip them a contract. That next 30 minutes, you get them a contract. It can always be subject to certain inspections and qualifications and all different other. You can always modify it later, but you got to get a starting point and lock it up and eliminate all the competition. And
That's right.
that's what you did so well. So let's go back to the beginning here, real quick, before you use too much time. How did you find this property?
I found the good old fashioned way, the cheapest way I knew how, and that's to talk to different people.
Okay, where'd you find these
Yeah. So
people? A meeting or something, or
yeah, actually it was a meeting. I was out and I was at a little networking function, and this person happened to be one of the folks there. Happened to be a professional, very well put together. He was promoting his business, and I said what I did. I told him I purchase properties for cash or for terms, and sure enough, he had me come in. We talked about just getting to know each other, possibly doing some business on referral, and
did he
mentioned
have a
that he had a.
problem?
Oh, he sure did. He had mentioned that, his business wasn't doing that well, and he was looking for someone, and someone that had a solution to come fix his problem, possibly buy the house or help him with marketing the
Okay, so
property.
are you Dr. Hart? Do you go in with the attitude, hey, I'm not here to steal it. I'm not here to be a goofy sales guy. I'm here to see if we can do business. You have a problem. Maybe I have a solution. Is that kind of your philosophy or attitude here?
Yeah, I can't say it was always that way. When I first got into business, it was more, just trying to go and try to
Me,
pitch.
me,
But
me, me,
now,
me, right?
yeah, yeah. But now I've learned, through some coaching for sure from the right people.
People,
You know,
people are
you
people, right? And you're going out talking to people, having civil conversations, saying, "Hey, it's okay for me. It's okay for me to help you, and it's okay for me to make a profit. That's how I take care of my family. We don't have
absolutely
to be ashamed of being entrepreneurial.
not at all.
Free at last, you know."
Still America for a couple more years. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you hit it off with the attorney. Your next move was to lock up the property with a piece of paper.
Right?
Your due diligence, you knew your numbers, you knew your marketability. How did you sell it so quick? How did you turn it over for a profit?
Sure. The best way I found whenever I'm selling the property, I go Craigslist and I go whatever marketing I can on the street. You know, make it visible. We also part of that $1,000. You know, all it was really putting a little bit of paint on the property
Okay.
because I knew the equity was there. So I just slapped a little paint on it, and it just, you know, people just started to notice a building that's been there for 10 years. People said, "Wow, when did you build that thing?" And so it kind of brought people's attention and just saw that
Wow.
now there's a
So all of a
building
sudden the
for sale.
phone's ringing
It was ringing like crazy.
and you did a little old school, little new school signs in the property, cleaned it up a little street
That's right.
appeal, eye appeal. You did a little on the internet, Craigslist and things. Did you do any other social media?
On this one, no. Outside of
Okay.
just the listing sites, yeah.
Okay. And you got an offer right away or a couple offers or fell in and out of escrow? What happened?
No, no. Once we went to escrow, it was solid. We just got a bunch of people originally that just were, you know, tire kickers, low ballers trying to make a deal happen, and you know, brush those folks off until we got the call. And what's funny about a call is when you find that person that's going to buy it, there's no convincing. They just say, "Hey, I want this property. It looks great," and they were all cashed up with verified funds.
Just a
Right
great
in the
deal.
beginning.
Just
Yeah.
a great deal. And so you made literally what I think some people would say is at least a very healthy professional's year's salary here in one deal. In this just one single deal, you made a year's salary. Is that fair?
That I would say that's absolutely accurate. Yeah,
What was
for
it
sure.
like, your lovely bride, Mrs. Hart, when you came home? I don't know if you told her the whole thing or you just came home with that check or whatever. What's that like?
You know, there's no feeling like it, to be honest. I don't think there's any because you know
And it's
in
not
this
from
bit.
avarice, it's or anything. It's just a feeling of security and bills are
Yeah,
paid and money in the
yeah,
bank and you can kind of relax a little.
sure,
You can enjoy life a little when you get money out of the way, right? You
absolutely.
know.
And you know, to answer your question, I just say it's like one of the greatest feelings. So that you know, as a husband, when you know that you can take care of those things, and your wife has that to see, it's really a good place to be
It's
for sure.
it's it's a good moment, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I'm going to end on that note. Thank you so much for sharing this with people. If people want to find out more about Mr. Hart and what he does and how he does it and things like that, what do you think they should do?
Well, the easiest way to get in touch with me would be to call. My phone number is 813-803-0299. And when I get my hands on this video, I'll put it somewhere in the comments so
Absolutely. This
folks
is
can
a
get in
great
touch.
video, and I love stories like this. They're just, I don't like a lot of the guru BS and stuff. I like to talk to real people who are out there working hard, who are learning, who put a value on their time, knowledge, and energy. And you work very hard, you practice your skill sets. This is a business, it's not a hobby, it's not get rich quick. Although,
Right.
if you work at it hard enough, my God, the rewards are phenomenal. And
That's for sure.
thank you for sharing all this with everybody.
Oh, you're welcome. All
Take
right.
care.
Thanks, Claude.